Hello Internet, I just wanted to show you another Gloomhaven 3D board build that I just completed. It's taken me a lot longer to get this one done than my previous two. Partly because Halloween and Thanksgiving and other holidays and travel and whatnot, and partly because this used all the different pieces than the last two levels, so I couldn't reuse nearly as much. But it's a really cool level. This is level 3, the Inox Encampment, so obviously spoiler alert. If you don't want to know anything about the Inox Encampment, then don't watch this video. But if you want to see how I did it all on 3D terrain, then continue watching, and I'll show you everything I did. And first thing you'll notice, yeah, we run a 5-player campaign, so there's 5 heroes on the board. We up the difficulty by 2. That's supposed to compensate somewhat for having extra character. So yes, that's out of the way now. I'll show you everything I did. First, let me show you what the level's supposed to look like. So here you're going to see the map. It's an outdoor level, and according to the text of the level, you've kind of come through a clearing in a forest to an Inox village. And so I had some of these trees lying around, and I just kind of throw them around the outside for, added effect. We end up moving them when we play because they kind of block the view, but it sets the scene. I kind of like those trees. All right, so then you get into the actual pieces that I've got going here. The tiles themselves, her starts. So this whole section here, I'm not going to move them. It's one large attached tile, and that's another. Then you go back out. Let me back up somewhere so you can see the whole thing. See if I can get you the whole thing in here. Move. Okay, that's probably the best we're going to get right now. So that's an individual tile, this whole piece. This whole piece is an individual tile here. All the wood pieces, they're individual, attached tiles. And then the exterior pieces that go around. So if I move, you can't see what I'm doing. All right, let's move a different one. So if I pull this guy off here, right? So this is just a 2 piece tile that I created. Her starts painted, and then some foam core on the bottom. But that forms my exterior wall, if you will, to all the interior solid pieces. Some other things that I did. Minis. Get into minis here. So this build took me a lot longer as well because I did all 3D prints. I have a Creality Ender 3 printer. And it's a fantastic low-cost 3D printer as far as 3D printers are concerned. And so these are the type of minis I was able to create. Inoxes don't have like a miniature that fits them, so I kind of went on Heroforge. I was excited to try out how Heroforge worked, and I designed my own, version of an Inox. And so here's what a real Inox looks like. If you take the miniature that comes with the game, if it'll focus. There we go. So that's what a Inox that comes in the game looks like, and this was the version I created based off of the art and this model off of Heroforge. And these are all printed off my Creality Ender 3 and then painted as well by me, and I'm not a professional painter. But I think it looks pretty darn good, especially costing, once you buy the file for $10, then it's pennies on the dollar for each individual print. So those are my Inox Warriors. If you get into archers in the back here, here's an archer that I did. And you can probably see the print lines on some of these models. Because it is, it's not a resin printer. It's an FDM printer. I'm blanking on the word right now because it is late. So here's an archer. And then here's a shaman. All of these, so I did 3 different purchases from Heroforge on 3 different types of models, just because I kind of liked how the first one came out, and I decided to keep going with it. So those are 3D prints there. I also did the totems are 3D prints. These came off of Thingiverse. There's a fantastic group on Thingiverse, and this is one of their prints there for a Gloomhaven totem. So thank you to the creators of that. I also got the thorns, the hazard tiles off of Thingiverse as well, painted them up so they go onto the board. What else? Okay, walls. So these are off of a really amazing company called Printable Scenery, I believe, and this came off of their tribal Kickstarter, or there was a Kickstarter they did a while ago, but this is their tribal set now. You can just buy the files. And so these two fence types, this one and this one, two different sizes, like $3, I think, and you got, these two styles. And I just printed out a ton of them, which took a while, and then painted them up, which also took a while. But I felt, since you're in an Inox Encampment and they're supposed to be like huts, each of these 4 rooms, I wanted hut type walls, and so that's what I went with. What else? Coins are 3D prints as well. Barrels, those are either Hearst Arts or off of a game called Dungeon Saga. You've got Hearst Arts, giant barrels and boxes and whatnot, making up the different scenery, and the doors are Hearst Art doors as well, this type. And this door here back at the cave. And we'll jump back into the cave now. The cave is a totally different type of tile. So let's go back here. And if I can get it to be smooth for you. Okay. So the cave tiles, this was, it's sliding off. These are actually 3D print tiles, and they came off of a Kickstarter that just ended maybe 2 months ago, called High Ground tiles, I believe they were called. High Ground. HYGROUND. I'll put a link in the description or something. And so I kickstarted it, and they're designed for actually Heroscape, which uses a bigger hex tile than the Hearst Arts tiles. So I kickstarted it, and then I just shrunk them down, and they've worked out pretty good. Not quite as good as I'd hoped. They're not. Once you shrink them down, I haven't had as much luck getting the tiles to be interchangeable as they're designed to be. At the full size, they're great, but when I shrunk them down, I had some issues. But despite that, they look really good. Their cave tiles are fantastic, and since that was supposed to be a cave in the Inox Encampment, I wanted to use those tiles instead. And you can stack them and create different levels, and I really like that. So that is the Inox Encampment for Gloomhaven Scenario 3. I'll back up one more time. You see the whole thing. Or most of the whole thing. I hope you guys liked, and girls, what I've put together. Comments or questions, go ahead and leave them below. I'll try to get the next level built out as soon as I can. It does take a while, maybe the next, depending where our group goes. So we've actually played this level twice now, and we've gotten killed both times. We have yet to beat this level, so it's kind of not as bad since it looks really cool. We don't mind playing it, but it hurts. This is a hard level for us to beat, especially with 5 characters. I think that's what makes it so hard. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. The few of you out here actually watch this video. And yeah, see you around.